kind of crazy. You don't prepare yourself for accidents like these. I honestly thought Natalie was going to be disabled the rest of her life, and we were going to have to wait on her. In the beginning, it got her foot right at the ankle, and it kind of cut the foot like a peace sign on the top of the foot. And the big toe was completely off, other than just a piece of skin hanging on there. So when we got to the hospital, they asked me, do you want to amputate? And I did not want her to be, I wanted her to be as normal as possible. So I was like, no. And the doctor told me that he was 99% sure that, we couldn't save this. But he tried his best, and the next day after the accident, infection had set in. The toes.
Gosh, already?
Yes. The toes had started to rot off, so they amputated the front of the foot on the second surgery, and tried to save it as a web so she could still use it. And as the days went on, the more they have to amputate. I'm not exactly sure when we decided to amputate below the knee. But when it happened, it broke the tibia. And he told us then that we needed to amputate there, because if he put a rod in, it would shoot the infection through her body, and that she would not make it. So I decided then that we should amputate. One of the hardest challenges I faced is to see the leg the first time after it had been amputated. When they took the cast off, it was very, very difficult. I didn't look. My dad was there. I couldn't do any wound care for a while. We had to have someone stay with us that could help. Mentally, it was really hard. Emotionally.
Yeah.
She's not different. That's what my brain was saying. Oh, it's different, and I couldn't comprehend it. The tragedy, I believe, of the accident itself is what really made that trigger my brain not to look.
Sure.
So, looking back, I just wish we could have saved her some time and some surgeries if I would have just listened and did the amputation in the beginning. My biggest obstacle in the beginning was, would she walk again?
Right.
But in the everyday life now, just personal care and, the sores is about the only thing now that we have to overcome now.
Right.
I didn't want anybody asking questions.
Right.
I didn't want anybody looking at her. I didn't want her to feel different.
Mm-hmm.
But I have overcame that. It is okay to ask questions now. People are curious.
Sure.
The human brain cannot comprehend things like this. It's like, oh, that's different. It's
sure.
Not like other humans. So I'm okay with questions now. It took me almost 10 years to get over that, though.
People have known me since, elementary school, and we've just grew up together. And when we meet new people, everybody's just right there, and they're like, oh, that's cool. And they're not scared of it. They're like, what is that? How does that work? I'll tell them, and they're like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So if I get a new prosthesis, everybody's like, well, what does this one do that the other one doesn't do? And everybody it starts with one person, and it goes all over the school, and everybody's just like, oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
She never walked on her prosthetic. She learned to ride a bike with the prosthetic to begin with.
Really?
Yes.
I learned to gain my balance back on a bike. That's what pushed me to start walking, start running, to be active again. I love it. It's shorter than the other socket. Mm-hmm. My other socket came about right here.
Okay.
And this one's kind of shorter than the other one. So it actually makes it easier to bend, and it doesn't show as much in pants, and it doesn't rub. So I've actually kind of liked it. I just learned that you have all different kinds of stories, and there's different prostheses as you get older, and as you get heavier, you can have more prostheses or different.
We went to the Amputee Correlation support group to get certified to be peer volunteers,
Yeah.
and it was awesome.
I had met a woman and she was like, look at this. And she was talking to Kelvin. I'm like, Kelvin, what is that? He said, her phone controls her foot and it moves her ankle back and forth to adjust it. I'm like, Kelvin, why don't I have one? He said, well, your foot has to be this length, you have to be this heavy, you have to be this old, da-da-da. I'm like, Kelvin, I want one.
Yeah, right.
And then I met a lady, and she had the running blade. I'm like, Kelvin, can I get one of those? He said, yeah. I said, I want one. So now I have a running test blade at home.
Kelvin and the prosthetic and orthotic group is awesome. We've been through 3 different prosthetic guys.
Mm-hmm.
And Natalie just couldn't find the right one. It didn't fit right. It wasn't comfortable. It always needed to be adjusted. And we had a good friend, Brenda Sorrells, that referred us there, and or referred us to Kelvin. And he has been awesome. He's taught Natalie a lot how to tweak it herself, so she can. We don't just run in the office every time. She's able to adjust it so that the comfort level is better for her. Reach out. There are plenty of support groups out there. Plenty of mothers that's going through the same thing you are. We were in the hospital. There were 10 other cases of lawnmower accidents while we were there.
Oh, wow.
I didn't reach out. I was just so overwhelmed with the amount of support that we had while we were there.
Mm-hmm.
But I wished I had have reached out to know what to expect next from someone that had went through this previously.
Mm-hmm.
But some advice: as life goes on and it gets better, don't give up hope.
Don't let your pride get the best of you. Don't hide it. I wish I wouldn't have hid it when I was little. It's part of you. It's never gonna go away.
And push. Don't let them say I can't, because there is nothing she can't do.